So I've got an app here I've been working on in relation to one of the YouTube videos that we had a little while back around time tracking. This app's relatively rudimentary. It will allow you to choose a project from a SharePoint record, start the timer, and then when you've finished working on that project, you can stop the timer and it will load the record to a SharePoint list. The challenge we had was it worked on a timer, so it would aggregate time as you're going through. The timer would cycle, it would add up the time that you're using, and when you click stop, it would patch that to the SharePoint record. So one of the questions we had was, how do I get around the fact that I might close this app, I might move away, or I might, the app might time out? Well, what I've done here is I've implemented a slightly different approach where, in the same way as Excel, we have an autosave option where incrementally and every so often you can configure how often it'll write the record and update the record in SharePoint that you've started. It'll keep a note of you starting a record. If you don't click stop and you accidentally kill the app, you run out of time, it times out, the next time you come into the app, you will receive a warning and you'll get a chance to update that record and do something with it. But what you can see on screen here is I've got a whole bunch of errors in this app. And the reason for that is because, like many, I've been experimenting with a more managed approach to deployment. I've been using solutions. And so to help with that, I've implemented an environment variable and a connection reference to my SharePoint list. What that means is I can package up this app, I can wrap it with its connection reference and its environment variables, and I can deploy it anywhere. And when I then unpack it, I can just set the list that I want this to point at and everything will work. Problem is, as you'll see here, I'll take you to one example, we have these hard-coded, effectively, SharePoint lists here. Now what I've done is I've created a connection reference called splist. That is a dynamically updated piece of information which points to a correct list in the correct environment for me when I deploy this in a solution. But what I've just done there, if I go to the error checker, I'm going to have to do that with probably 70 odd records, which is going to get painful. So I've got a shortcut for you. It's over here in the left. If you click search, you've got find and replace. Find, let's search for the name of the list. And if we put replace in, we can replace that with splist. It'll tell me where it thinks it's found those records and I can replace them all. And in one fell swoop, fix all those problems with my app. And I can now save and publish it. There might be a few more to look around, but that's just a fantastic shortcut when you know you've got an error like that. So if we have a look around the app now, we've got those errors are gone. We've got the errors here gone. And I'll just give you a little play so you can see what this app does. It'll check for incomplete records. If there's none, it'll let you pick a project, start the project. I'm going to leave autosave off for now. I could turn it on and that'll partially write a record to SharePoint. And if I closed out of this now, when I come back in, let me just show you what that looks like. We'll play the app again. We're coming back in. There's a partially written record. It'll tell me about that, and I can do some tweaking there. I can update the record. I've got a few little tweaks to do to times, but it'll just accept it, go back into that checking mode, and I'm fine now. So I can now go and write a new record. We'll start it. We'll auto start that one. We'll stop it. And it'll write the times that I've done it, check the current project totals for a little background job that I've done, and you can just carry on like that, carry on adding records. You can go and have a look at the records you've done as well. These are my previous ones. I can delete them, get rid of them, I can start a new record, can carry on as much as we want, turn autosave on or off, and stop the record. So you'll see it's nice and simple to update all that information really, really quickly. Didn't take me a few minutes. I hope it helps. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you want to see more tips like this around Power Apps and Power Automate.